Hi, and welcome to the Kitchen of the On cooking show where nothing is cooked. So, what do you need to create the exact same gourmet meals that you think you're going to miss? First of all, you're not going to miss the greasy pots and pans because there will be none. Instead, we're using juicers. You have two juicers here, which are from the same company. These are my favorite juicer. One is if you are not juicing for many, maybe just for yourself. I would suggest this one. If you're doing batch juicing, however, batch juicing is really important to get. This one, they're both from the same company, and this one is the J2 Nama juicer. Now we go to the blenders. So you can have blenders that are very, very high speed like this one, or you can have blenders that are portable. So this one is a actual battery blender. So you can go hiking with it, you can do so much with it. It is absolutely incredible, and you should always have it on hand in case there's a power outage, and you can still make your smoothies, your juices, your dressings, everything that you want. And we have, of course, food processors. You have smaller ones, you've got bigger ones. It's really up to you which size you want. We're making the same gourmet meals in the cooked world and even in the meat world, in the animal eating world. We actually making the same meals, but they are totally alive, and the enzymes are still rich in there, and all of the life energy and the nutrients are still there. So we use food processors, we do use the blenders, and we use the juicers. And that's what you're going to be using instead of a stove or any other toxic items in the kitchen. And the kitchen, by the way, is one of the most toxic places in every home. There's a lot of glass in a living foods kitchen. You can put juice in here as well, your super smooth in here, or you can do what I do and also put your nuts in here. And I always put the nutcracker in there, so I like to keep my life simple. I don't have to go looking for it. And so a different size jar again here, because this jar I like for hemp, because it's about what I use every month. See, different size, but they're all glass. Do you see that? All of these are glass. Also, jars and containers of all sizes. Lots and lots of these. As you see, this one nests in this one. And so you're going to be needing many of these, many, to keep your fruits, vegetables, and whatever it is that you're making in. If you're into a lot of berries, which I strongly suggest, there are special berry holders as well. And also another of these glass jars, and I use them a lot to hold things like pomegranates, and they're really great to have for just about everything. Also for soups, if you don't finish the soup, you just put this back on it, put it right in there. You don't have to find a different container to put it in, but it's glass. That's what's important, that it is glass. It's non-toxic. You're going to be also needing strainers, all sizes. This one is just a small one here. And then you've got the mandolin. So this is important to use because the mandolin, when you're doing the mandolin, you could cut yourself really easily. But when you use a mandolin to cut instead, or to do anything where you know that when you're doing cooked, you're using a knife and it takes so long just to slice it, this is really important, having a mandolin. There are different kinds. And as you can see, there are different blades for different things as well. Because you see, it has a container where you can keep all of it. And also, when you're actually slicing things, they can drop right in here. Just take these out, and anything that you are making can just fall right in there. So mandolins are really part of a living foods kitchen. Make sure when you get gloves that they're lined with cotton. When you have gloves in the kitchen, because you don't want a lot of toxicity. There's so much toxicity in the kitchen. When you go to a living food diet, you cannot anymore using these toxic things because you become more sensitive and you start getting sicker, and you begin to wonder why. You thought you're supposed to be healthier on this diet. Is because you've gotten more sensitive to these things. And there are a lot of people in the kitchens, in a cooked kitchen, who a lot of their problems, their mental, emotional, and physical problems, are because of the toxicities in the kitchen. There's so much. And I'll be talking about this again, about toxicity in the kitchen, another time. So you also need a mortar and a pestle. And the mortar and the pestle are really excellent for mixing things, and much better than using things with steel on them. Because the problem with steel is that it actually leaves its residue on the food and whatever it is you're cutting, which is why we go to ceramic knives. Ceramic knives do not need to ever to be sharpened. If anything, maybe every 10 years. It's long lasting, it's very durable, but the most important thing is that it does not contain all of the toxicity of steel, and so it does not leave any residue into the food, which is why you'll see on the show that I'm using it, and I'm cutting up apples, or I'm cutting up pears, and I'm cutting up avocados, and they last the entire show. You never see that I have to put lemon on it because they're beginning to turn brown. There will no such thing happening for you here. So where do you keep these ceramic knives and cutlery? Well, you need a special container for that. So this is a special one just for ceramic knives. So you'll have to get that as well. So everything that I put in the mouth is ceramic. That is why we have ceramic silverware as well. We can have ceramic chopsticks, although you can get wooden chopsticks, and you can get wooden utensils as well if you prefer not to have the ceramic. For the heaviest foods, you would use something like this. Ceramic knives are from Japan, and so is this knife, also from Japan. See? And this knife I use for jackfruits, pineapples, really important. Let's look at how do we transport whatever we're going to be eating. This is a bento box, and this, it's all non-toxic from bamboo, and it even has its little fork and its little spoon. And of course, in this bento box specifically, because it's from bamboo, it's all non-toxic, and it's also charming, I think. I think it makes for a lovely gift to someone as well. So, thanks for stopping by the Living Foods Kitchen of the On Cooking Show today, and I look forward to seeing you. Join me next time for another episode of the On Cooking Show.